Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoyed yesterday's episode with Ganja. Now, a question came in from somebody who I've been texting with about things, and the question was, how can you help? How can I build my confidence around my trading? And I think the answer lies in consistency. If you act consistently, you can build your confidence. Very hard to build confidence in trading by doing other things. You can't shy away from taking the risk. You can't build your confidence by avoiding the uncertainty around the outcome of a trade, right? We can't build confidence if you're when you look at the hill or the mound that makes up your confidence, which is at the top. It's all the feelings at the bottom that you don't want to feel. You have to step over those and learn how to be with them. You come to understand that you can only control the controllables. That is, do I buy or sell, or do I do nothing? At what price do I get in? And then what inventory do I have? That's all you can control. Those are deliberate choices. You're bullish or bearish on a certain name. You choose to own it. You can choose it in an option, or you can choose the underlying, right? You can choose the time frame. But at the beginning, it's like, where do I get in? Long or short? And then how much? Knowing that if you have too much, you might make money in the coin toss if it goes in your favor. But if you're wrong, you got bad luck, you got bad timing, or you got bad analysis, you could lose a lot more than you had hoped, right? So what I would say is stick to your rules at the beginning. Try anything for a couple of weeks. Trade super small. Don't risk a lot of money. But it's in the consistency in your behavior that's going to help you build confidence. Because you're going to have winning and losing streaks. No matter the asset class, the trading style, the holding period, every system, and we're going to talk about this, has its own season. Now, just because it has a losing streak doesn't mean the system's not worth anything, right? And that's hard to understand when you're just starting out. You can liken it to sports. There are some people go on streaks, their on-base percentage is very, very high. They get walked, they get hit by the pitch, they get base hits, extra base hits. Then there's times when they can't do anything right? And so you have to take the thick with the thin. Admittedly, when you're starting out, that's a little tricky. So you have to measure your own behavior, right? Can you execute what it is that you're trying to do? So I feel when I look back at what I did when I was coming up is that I did execute things consistently. It took me a while, of course, to understand the marriage between entries and exits, especially with respect to position sizing, because those prices, certainly the exit, will be adjusted depending on how big you're trading, right? Because you know what percent you're going to lose in your portfolio. So if you're risking 0.5%, right, you know that there's only so many contracts or shares that you can have before you have to get stopped out. Otherwise, you're going to risk losing more money. And there are people here who are like, well, I'm going to wing it. Let's just wait and see. But that's killed a lot of people, you see? So the point is that in my own experience, it's through the consistent behavior and the consistent study that's going to help you build the confidence that you need for putting those trades on. Because when you think about even when you're in a losing streak, the best you can do is control the controllables, which is, did you get in where you wanted to? Did you put on the size that made sense for you? Did you cut your losses where you had predetermined you were going to get out? That's the best you can do. You're powerless over the results. So even in losing money in those instances, you can actually build your confidence because you're doing what you intended to do. It's when you take flyers, you adjust your stops, your protective stops lower, you start negotiating with the market, you give yourself permission to do stupid things, and then you get stupid results, right? So I don't know what more I could say about it. I was lucky in that I kind of understood that very, very early on. Behavior predicts where you end up. And I also knew that, I had limited funds. And if I lost that money, it was going to be very difficult in terms of how much time, right? Because living in Manhattan was very expensive. So I had to preserve my capital. So I was always focused on playing defense. Yes, I wanted to make a lot of money, but I also knew that if I lost my trading grub stake, it was going to be very, very difficult for me to gather those funds, in any short period of time, right? So that's what I would like to do is leave it there today. If you have any questions about it, or if you have any other experiences where you've developed confidence in your life, leave it in the comments for sure. I just think trading's so different that, I can see where, like, I had success as a musician. I had picked it up. I worked very hard. I had success as an artist, but I put the work in. So I had the model for my personality type on how I got results, both as a student from academia, a student of the arts, student of music. I kind of knew who I was, which is kind of why I advocate, probably more than most other people, that if you don't know who you are, it really doesn't matter what you know. I knew what made me tick. I knew how to carve it out of stone. I knew how to put a plan together to attack an issue, edify myself, not overly edify myself, but edify myself enough to a point where I knew I could take action and capitalize it. The rest I'd figure out along the way. So a lot of you out there who are uncomfortable with that. You want to know everything first. And I think you're missing out on a lot. I don't think there is a point where you over prepare, and it doesn't necessarily help you. You only have to have basic understanding of things. You don't need to be an expert. You need to be an expert in you, because everything else then doesn't matter, right? I could understand how butterflies and condors work, but I don't trade them. So in some level, it's interesting. It's interesting to have a conversation with people who really know options, I suppose. But at the end of the day, it doesn't help me make money. So all you need to do is know what it is that you do to be you when you're a trader. Everything else doesn't really matter. It's just cocktail parties, you see? Anyway, please like and subscribe. Let me know what you're thinking. If you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. I read them all myself. And thank you very much for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, everybody, thanks for being here. Please take a minute, like and subscribe to the show. You could also leave a comment. I don't have all the answers, so it's good to get some feedback. Also, if you would like to support the show, check out the links below. You can get the free audiobook of The Inner Voice of Trading, and also information about the course that I teach with Victor Sperandio. Thanks for being here, folks. I'll see you tomorrow.